Okay, in part one, we did the left mullion and the right mullion. Let's do the top mullion, which is very similar to how we did the bottom, but this one we can use some reference planes that we already have in place. So I'm going to go to Revit and let's go to our reference level. Okay, so we basically want our top frame to live basically from here, from that frame to this frame, from here to here, because I want it to be flush with these side elements. If I wanted it to be not flush with the side elements and I wanted it to mimic the bottom sill, you could do that by having it go out to here or here. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go to create extrusion. Now, just so you know, these tools right here, you're going to get very used to these as we move forward, but these are all the different ways that you can sort of build geometry. For this particular window, I'm just using extrusion. For a lot of the windows that you create, you can pretty much live with just extrusion. So let's just work with that for now. And if need be, we can always, depending on the windows that you want to create, I can introduce more tools, but we will get a full introduction to these tools as we move forward. So I'm going to click extrusion. And now I'm going to set my reference plane first, and I will do not sill, but top. Hit OK. So now I'm drawing on the top reference plane, which is the top of the rough opening, the top of the window. And I'm going to go to my rectangle tool and I'll draw it right where I want it. Now I could use line too, but I'm just going to use rectangle. I'm going to hit all of my locks so it stays connected to those reference planes. And I'm going to hit the green check. Okay, now there's one issue here. So I'm going to go to my exterior. Here's the frame I just made. It's kind of going up into the wall. Okay, not very helpful. Now I need to define how thick I want this up here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make another reference plane here. So I'm going to go to create reference plane. Put that right here. And I will call this top frame height. Now, I'm going to make a dimension string here. And I'll do it from the top of the window opening to this new reference plane I've made. And I'll select that dimension string, but I want the top frame to be the same thickness as this. So I'm just going to assign the left-right frame thickness to that. Okay, that's fine. It's not very descriptive. That's fine. You could change the name of that parameter to left, right, top frame thickness or something like that if you so choose. So now I'm going to select that shape I just made, grab my top handle here and drag it down to that reference plane and lock it. So now if I go to my 3D view, I have a frame right on the top there. And I'll make this a mullion as well. And it's living right with those other frames. So if I change the thickness, let me go to my family types here of left, right frame thickness. Here I can change the name here. LRT, left, right, top. Oh, it's not letting me. See if I can edit. There we go. L right, left, right, top. Caps lock. Okay. And I'll call this 4 inches. Now, when I change this to 4 inches, this, and the right one should all like fatten up. Hit 4 inches, hit apply, and they do. That looks really nice. I'm gonna go back to, I'll do 1.5 inch. Okay, hit OK. So everything's working. All right, now we want to define a vertical mullion here and a horizontal one. So let's do the vertical one first. So if I go to my left or my floor plan view, I might change my scale yet again so that I can get these even smaller. Let's see. If I did it on this one, it will always be in the middle. Okay, so I don't exactly want that. So what I want to do is create a reference plane somewhere in here. Oh, did I not draw? What did I draw? I drew a reference line. That's not what I wanted. I want to draw a reference plane somewhere in here. Okay, and we'll call this vertical mullion V frame. Okay, so now I have a vertical frame here. Now, reference plane there, but this reference plane does not know where to be. Okay, it's just floating. So what I want to do is add a dimension string from here, say the right side to here. Okay, and I'll give this a parameter. I'll call it E frame position. Oh, if I set a dimension of 2 feet, this line will always be at the 2-foot mark. I'll hit OK. All right, now I'm going to make one more reference plane to define the thickness of this mullion. And I'll call this V frame thickness. I'm going to make a dimension string from here to here. And I'm going to use the same thickness as this. So I'm going to grab that dimension string and apply the LRT frame thickness in there. And now I have a nice box here where I can create that extrusion. So what I'm going to do is create it from the sill level. So I'm going to set the reference plane to the sill. I'm going to make a box right here. I'm going to lock the heck out of it. If I can. There we go. Locked them all. Hit the green check. Let's go to the exterior view. That looks good. Now I'm going to bring this all the way up to this reference plane. Lock it. And I'll bring this one to this reference plane and lock it. Now, let's give this a whirl and see how this works. So there's that mullion in there. I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to grab that mullion, change its category to frame mullion. And now I'm going to go up to family types and play with that parameter. So V frame position, let's do, the width is 2 feet. So let's do 1 foot. So this should be somewhat right in the middle. Okay, that works. Let's try 4 inches. It's way on, sorry, it's way on the edge. Let me go back to that. So let's change LRT frame thickness. So I'm going to do a V height frame position of 8 inches. And I'll do LRT frame thickness of 2 inches. Now everything left, right, top, and vertical should fatten up a little bit, which they do. Now, look at that right there. So that looks like I got something a little funky going on there. So I could see that it didn't quite lock to that reference plane. It sort of locked to the element, which it seems to not be behaving correctly. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to go to, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to exterior. All right, here it is here. I'm going to bring it down and bring it back up. See if I can, how can I? Maybe I just didn't have it locked. Let's see what it does now. So LRT frame thickness, I'll do 1 inch. Okay, that seems to be working now. Okay, so there, we got that one in. Okay, there's 2 more pieces to add, and I'm going to do them on my own, but I'm going to let you guys run through it. So what I want you to add, Where's my SketchUp? There we go. Is this piece. We're going to put that in that frame piece exactly the same way we did this frame piece. And then add the glass in the middle. And the glass can have a thickness of, say, 1/4 inch. Okay. So I'm going to hit pause on this video. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to show you how to bring it into a project. Okay. I'm just going to hit pause. So go ahead and do that. And then this video will continue with the rest of the, it will continue with the rest. So I'll bring it into a project. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Pause. Okay. So I finished that. So what I want to show you what I did was I made, if I go to exterior, I made 2 reference planes here. I called, I used the same distance from the, well, I'm on the exterior side, but I use the same distance from here to my vertical mullion, same distance from the top to my horizontal mullion here. So I use the V frame position parameter there. I use the LRT frame thickness for the thickness of this. And then I put in my glass by adding a reference plane here and another one right here. So here's the center reference plane. I basically did a 1/4 inch reference plane here, but it's a parameter called glass thickness. So right now my glass is a 1/2 inch thick because each one's a 1/4 inch. So that's basically handled that. Now, one other thing I want to show you that you can do, notice here that this frame actually it actually goes through this vertical frame. And then what you can do is you can actually join it. So I can go to my join tool here and I can click on, this one and they'll join. Likewise, I could click on these 2 on the sides and click this and you see how they join there, and I can click on the top and that. So it's a good way to clean up your model after you're done. So even though they're joined, my parameters should work just fine. So I'll do LRT frame thickness. I'll do it to 2 inches and hit apply, and they all get thicker. So very cool. So it's working. So that's good for now. So we basically have made our window. So everything is looking exactly how I want. I'm going to close some of these other windows and just keep open this 3D view. And I'm going to go ahead and save as this family. And I'll put that under, God, what is it? Okay, fall, advanced Revit. And believe it or not, we are in week 8. Oh my God. Okay, week 8. So I'll just call this custom window. Call it KK custom window for Kevin Kinney, version 1, and hit save. Okay, so we saved our family here. All right, so now what I want to do is just make a new project just to show you how this works. Now you can use your eccentric collector project if you like. You can open that one and use that as your project, but I'm just going to go ahead and make a new project. And I'll just do a default template just to show you how the importing of this window works. And there we go. And I'm going to make a couple walls in here. So I'll just do a generic 8-inch wall. A little smaller. And I will do another wall. Let's do like a big brick one. There we go. Let's do another weird one. Okay, foundation. Okay, why would they do it that way? Look at that base offset. Okay, 0. Cancel. Let's go up to level 2. Top constraint is invalid. All right. You know what? We're not going to do that one. We'll just do. All right. Generic 12-inch masonry. All right. So I'm going to go to a 3D view or make a 3D view. I'm going to hide these. I just want to get a good look at this just to show you guys what's going on. Okay, that looks good right there. All right, I'm going to just mess with my graphic display a little bit. Sure, let's put on these. Oh, that's adorbs. And let's do some shadows. Thank you. Okay, all right. Now I am going to go to my window and I'm going to do load into project. Okay, now look at this. There it is, KK custom window version 1. Now if I went to architecture window, it would be in there along with other ones. So I'll just grab this KK custom window 1 and I'll just position it here, position it here, and I'll position it here. So I got it in all 3 windows and there it is. Now, couple things you might notice that are a little weird, like where it's kind of placed in the wall. So let's look at this first example. So if I grab the window here, sill height I can change between each project. So maybe for my sill height, I wanted it to be at 2'8". Apply, that one will move up. I notice this window's not at a masonry dimension because it's not landing nicely there. Okay. Now, if I go to edit type, okay, here are all my beautiful parameters that I've just made. My dog is just moving around way too much. So I'm going to start by changing the width to 3 feet. Okay, or apply. Now they all change to 3 feet. Vertical frame position, 1'2". Apply. That position of this internal mullion system is moved. Interior sill frame depth. Oh, let's do 2 feet. This is going to be weird, but let's just hit apply. And you can see that this is interior for this one. Interior is on the other side for this one. This is interior. It really sticks in. So we've successfully brought this window in. We can change the parameters and it changes all of them. Okay, the one parameter that changes per instance is the sill height. 1 second, let me just pause for a moment. Okay, so we've brought the window in. Everything is working. Sorry about that interruption. We have one instance change that we can change. Like I can make the sill height different on this one from this one to this one. Otherwise, everything I change under edit type, all these parameters that I change will affect all the windows. So now would be the time after you bring it in to really fine tune this thing. So for example, if this was my exterior window system, I probably would want this window to end up sort of up here. Okay, so I might go on this particular window. Let's try 3 feet. It's probably 3'4". That's a masonry dimension, but you all knew that. Okay, that looks good, but now I might want to change my height of my window to not 7 foot, but 7'4". And now it's a nice masonry dimension, or I could have gone to 6'8". So this fits better. It's a little goofy down on the bottom there. Maybe I can still change that to not 3'4", but 4 foot maybe. Well, that would work. But 3'4". Let's go down. Well, nah, that would be good. So that's actually a pretty high window, but you could adjust it to wherever it needs to be. So, okay, that's plenty for now. So this is all about just getting these windows created and then getting them into a project, specifically your eccentric collector project. So for your assignment this week, which I'll be sending out shortly, I would like you to create this window on your own using everything we just learned. So you should be able to do all of this and like create this window, create all the parameters, And then you guys will be sending me the actual family file. I'll import it into a project and test all of your parameters. So you can have as many parameters as you would like, but the overall window should look something like this. Okay. So we have this kind of vertical position fin here. We've got some intrusions to the interior on the sill and the top here. So we also have some like cool details up here to the right of the fin that kind of overlap the exterior wall, whatever the exterior wall may be. So this is going to be your assignment for the next week, is creating this window. If you can create this window, you can make some pretty cool windows then for your eccentric collector project, which is the assignment you'll do after this one. Okay, stay tuned for the assignment.